If we agree Ruto to divide us, as a community we are finished. We face extinction. And the only way for us to stay afloat as a people is to make sure we remain united.
Ladies and gentlemen, going by the words of Gachagua, if Mount Kenya leaders accept to be divided, then they are finished politically. And I can tell you, William Samoei Ruto is determined to weaken the opposition. Yesterday, we saw Gideon Moi hosting a forum by the name DUA, Democracy Union of Africa, and he invited different political parties. He invited the former president of Ghana. He invited JB Muturi. And we all know that Justin Muturi is one of the principals in the United Opposition. And Ruto has been trying so much to get the leaders of opposition to his side. But he has not succeeded. Recently, he tried to poach Gideon Moi, and he successfully convinced Gideon Moi to join his government. Remember, Gideon Moi was in Azimio in 2022. He campaigned against William Samoei Ruto. And Gideon Moi has close associates from the opposition. He has some good friends from the opposition. That's why William Samoei Ruto is now using Gideon Moi to convince the opposition leaders to join his camp. I want you to ask yourself one question. If today William Samoei Ruto organizes a forum of political parties and invite Kalonzo Musyoka, do you believe Kalonzo Musyoka will accept that invitation? Your guess is as good as mine. So, JB Muturi, knowing very well that he is in the United Opposition and Gideon Moi is in the government, him accepting that invitation, it tells you something that JB Muturi knows at the end of the day he's going back to work with William Samoei Ruto. That's why it is much easier for him to accept the invitation of Gideon Moi, knowing very well that Gideon Moi is working for Ruto. Ruto was in Baringo yesterday, and he also spoke about his new relationship with Gideon Moi. I want you to listen to this speech of William Samoei Ruto.
Nyinyi mnajua mimi na ndugu yangu Gideon Moi tumeketi chini tukaongea, si ndio? Na tumekubaliana. Ako wapi? Si mimi nimekuja kwa niaba yake. Mnataka akuje? Nitamwambia akuje. Lakini tumekubaliana na yeye. Mimi na yeye ni ndugu moja, ama sivyo? Si ndio? Na tumekubaliana tunatembea pamoja. Si ndio? Hatutaki tena maneno ile ya zamani ya kugawana hapa na pale. Tunataka tutembee safari moja. Tuunganishe kwa sababu umoja ni nguvu. Ama namna gani watu wa Baringo?
Now, having listened to that speech keenly, William Samoei Ruto has disclosed that he's working with Gideon Moi. William Samoei Ruto going to Baringo without Gideon Moi is not a coincidence. He knew very well Gideon Moi is somewhere meeting JB Muturi, trying to convince him to come to the government side before 2027. We have Martha Karua of PLP. He was not invited. We have Peter Munya of PNU. He was not invited. Of course, we know Peter Munya has not aligned himself so much with the United Opposition. And at the end of the day, he's likely to make a coalition maybe with the Kenya Kwanza administration. You never know. But JB Muturi has aligned himself with the United Opposition. So Gideon Moi has started with JB Muturi to weaken the Mount Kenya bloc, especially the Embu region, the Meru region. he's going to make sure that Embu Meru region does not vote as a bloc, does not vote for the united opposition. That's why he decided to use Gideon Moi to convince the Azimio people that he was with during 2022 election. There's a day Kalonzo Musyoka said, if they decide to give in into the Ruto's demands, then they are finished. If Martha Karua accepts to work with Ruto, they are finished. If JB Muturi accepts to work with Ruto, they are finished. Remember, William Samoei has just said that Gideon Moi is working with him. So JB Muturi meeting with Gideon Moi, he's meeting with William Samoei indirectly. He's meeting with William Samoei indirectly. Because what Gideon Moi speaks, he's speaking from the mouth of William Samoei Ruto. Listen to what Kalonzo said.
Unaona wanatafuta Kalonzo kila wakati. Wanadhani Kalonzo anaweza kuachana na Rigathi na Martha na JB Muturi, ndio sasa Wakikuyu wanyoroshwe tena. Now I have very bad news for them. Habari mbaya sana kwa kina Ruto. Uwezi tena kutenganisha Wakamba na Wakikuyu na kila, haiwezekani.
Yes. William Samoei is trying to capture Kalonzo. William Samoei is really trying to capture Martha Karua. But Gideon Moi has already managed to capture JB Muturi on behalf of William Samoei Ruto. And if the United Opposition is not careful, they are going to be weakened. What William Samoei now is doing, after Gideon Moi meeting JB Muturi, of course, there are some opposition leaders or officials who are not happy with that meeting. They will now start seeing JB Muturi as a mole. And at the end of the day, JB Muturi will not feel comfortable in that camp. So by 2027, he'll have to go where he's much comfortable. He'll have to go where he's much assured of any position in the government. So he'll not stay in the United Opposition up to 2027. Already Gideon Moi is talking to him. And then at the end of the day, he's going to join the camp of William Samoei Ruto again. You can remember in 2022, JB Muturi was in Azimio. After a few months of campaigning, he shifted to William Samoei Ruto's side. Right now, he bolted out of the government. There is a political game that's being played by JB Muturi in the United Opposition. And only time will tell.